Sarah from 17 once again, and welcome to the worst family fun vacation ever in my Bulletstorm very hard difficulty walkthrough. And here we go. So this is Act 2, Chapter 2, and as you can see, we're now entering into Bulletstorm's equivalent of a theme park. And this theme park allowed kids to control huge mechanical monsters. And you're probably wondering, that sounds pretty badass, and it totally does. And the best thing about it is, we get to control one of those crazy dinosaurs. And, fuck me, the main character calls it the most ridiculous name ever when it's beyond usefulness. And it's just one of those really legitimately funny, daft moments, and I just, like, made me laugh so much. And it's one of those names that I'm probably going to be using for the rest of my life, because it's had that much of a profound effect on me, because I'm that stupid, but I just loved it. And that right there is the introduction to the shotgun enemies. And the easiest way to tell it's a shotgun enemy is because he's wearing the mask, which is like a headdress, and he's also fat. So if you see a fat dude wearing a mask, generally means he's got a shotgun. And the shotgun on Bulletstorm actually has 4 barrels, and if he gets close enough to you, he will fuck you up easy as hell. He will really hurt you, so they are the guy you want to stay as far away from as possible, unless you've got him stunned, or unless you're messing about with him with a skill shot. And the easiest part to handle this first area, this easiest way to handle this first part, should I say, losing my fucking words as per usual, is to just leash these guys towards you and kick them towards whichever one of the skyscrapers is blinking. Because that generally means that it's got some sort of problem with its power system and it's going to electrocute people. And it makes this section a lot easier than it probably should be, because I don't know, this looks like it could have been an interesting shootout, but look, the luxury of it is we're so overpowered with this leash we can just kick dudes to death. So keep doing your thing, keep getting the kilowatt plus 50s, and just make sure that you're moving slowly through these cityscapes, because the dudes with the shotguns, they're a little timid for an enemy actually. You'll notice that they stay in cover a lot and they don't actually fire the shotgun that much. They prefer to run at you. They're almost like they're egocentric or something, and they don't want to kill you. But just be warned, because they have every tool to do just that. But as you push forward, as you can see, we've got a couple of the Serious Sam Crazy Runner guys. That's one of the firework dudes. And then through here, that button to my side is what we have to press, but before we can press it, we have to kill some more guys. So that's just a standard skull that I've kicked. And then there's a shotgun guy, and just look at that. The guy was in the graphics, he fired his shotgun at me, I didn't even feel it somehow, and then I managed to kick him into an electrical skyscraper, so sometimes the game just wants you to win. But you pull this lever, and then lo and behold, one of the big robot dinosaur dudes turns up, and it's like, oh shit, time to run. So if you press X, you'll get the dodge quick time event, and then you get to run through these lovely conduit tunnels or maintenance tunnels or whatever the hell they are. And I don't think you're actually in any rush at this moment in time. I don't think there's any threat of dying or being chased or anything, but the game makes it seem so, you know, frenetic and so tense that you're supposed to be moving on that it's probably best to just run through the tunnel. And here we go. Little Jurassic Park moment. Looking to see if it's clear, and it's clear. So there's a drop box back there if you need anything. Right now I'm kinda saving my money for whatever is gonna come. Probably for the upgrade for the thumper, which, whoa, I say, and I've got the thumper, check me out, didn't even realise I'd bought it. And what that does is, if you hold the left bumper, just what you saw then, he will do a massive slam into the ground with the leash, and it knocks every enemy in the vicinity up towards the roof. And right then, what I just did was a complete waste of a thumper, because there's no roof. And if there's a roof, it will instantly kill most enemies, and you'll get a ton of skill shot points for doing it. And that's pretty much what you're going to want to be doing for the rest of the game. If you get into a room that has a visible roof of any kind, and you're having any kind of trouble because there's a ton of guys, just use your thumper. It is the easiest and most efficient way to kill guys. The only problem is, you want to make sure you get more than 800 points for using it, because if you don't, it's a wasted move. Because the thing costs that much, so it's one of those where if you're going to use it, you want to get a return on it so that you can buy it again and keep using it. And it's kind of the whole, I wouldn't so much say rich get richer, but what the fuck am I saying? It facilitates its own use. because if you pay 800 skill shots for that move, you want to get a return of that. It's like an investment. It's probably the best way to look at it. And if you're not getting your money back, then it's a wasted investment. But I'm going to show you a handful of times in the game where it's going to save your ass and it's going to make sections super easy. But if you're creative enough, you'll probably find a whole bunch more yourself. And there we go. That's a that was a surprisingly good charge shot. I didn't think I was going to get more than one, but I think it got 3. But yeah, just carry on walking through this factory area or wherever this place is on this catwalk, and when you come through here you're going to get introduced to the metallic monster and to the dude that's controlling him, and this is where we get to use it as a toy. So if that's what you've been waiting for in Bulletstorm, it comes sooner than you might think, and it's really funny. So as soon as you shoot that dude, he drops the controller, and now we have a dinosaur. It's time to dick some dudes with your robotic dinosaur friend. So the right bumper will make him interact with things, the right trigger will make him fire. You can go into ADS with this controller, it just zooms in on wherever you're pointing the thing. Be very, I wouldn't say cautious with this, but when you're bashing the trigger to make him shoot at stuff, because it's got such a wide area of effect, it sometimes will, you know, highlight himself and it'll make him turn around and he'll not know what to do. And it's not frustrating, it's just a little silly really. But on this section here, you've got to shoot all the enemies in this area and you've got to kill them all before you can progress onwards. So the best thing to do is focus on the circled enemy because he's going to be the biggest threat, and then from then just clear up the stragglers. And if you use these pieces of sheet metal for cover, you shouldn't have any problems. Just bob out, shoot a few guys, as soon as your screen goes red, bob back in, get your life back, and just repeat. And if you stay up here, you shouldn't be in any kind of problem. Any kind of trouble, should I say. And it kind of alternates these rooms. It's the left balcony where we killed the last one, then it's the right alcove there with those dudes, and it's just back and forth, and then once you've cleared the big enemies out, there's just a handful of the smaller skulls. And they're pretty obvious, it's just sometimes it can be hard to differentiate them from the backdrop because everything kind of looks similar with it being this Gears of War aesthetic. Excuse me. But like right now, this is almost like spawn trapping. There's nothing these guys can do. We're just dicking them in the opening. And let's ever see if there's anybody else. And when Ishi says it's all clear, that generally means that these gyrocopters are going to spawn. And these can be a little bit more trickier to shoot. The main reason is they're a small target and they move kind of quick. But once that thing's pissed off, use your dinosaur to interact with the bus and he'll make a platform for himself. And then you just have to shoot a ton of dudes on that bridge / balcony. And this bit, it isn't challenging, but you've got to be intelligent, because if you stay out of cover for too long, everything's shooting at you. No one's shooting at your dinosaur. It's kind of crazy, and they're really accurate and really powerful. So just spam the trigger as much as you can to get a lot of damage off, and then just try and hide. And just be very aware that Ishi can block you, you will clip on him, you will have problems moving if he's in your way and things like that. And sometimes you will get shot through the cover because, like I say, Bulletstorm's cover is not 100% infallible. But just keep spamming your trigger, keep killing the dudes that turn up, focus on the gyrocopters, and there is really no reason to struggle with this section because you're controlling a fucking dinosaur. It's like, come on. It's a giant robotic dinosaur, and it's one that I've probably never heard of because it looks a little bit like a Rancor or Godzilla or something, but I'll call it a dinosaur. Dinosaur sounds cooler. Now the only thing cooler than a dinosaur, obviously, is a dinosaur with a chainsaw. It's probably the most brutal thing on this planet. But just keep killing dudes, keep spraying them, keep getting your skill points for doing it. It just generally take a little bit longer than you'd expect because they want you to get the full use out of this guy. But as soon as this concrete starts to collapse and come down, that means that this section is pretty much done, and you can push forward up to the house / villa up there. And all that's going to happen next is a ton more enemies are going to show up, and there's going to be people on both sides of the balconies. Oh, and there's an armoured vehicle, but he's not going to last very long. And doesn't that make no sense? Right there, we just destroyed an armoured vehicle and got 20 skill shots, yet when we were shooting a normal dude with this dinosaur guy, we were getting 50s. Yeah, the skill shot mechanic on this game is all over the place, because sometimes you'll do exactly what they want, and you'll still not get any points for. Like the amount of times I've blown somebody up with a barrel, and it's not giving me anything for them, or I've kicked them off the edge and I've not got a vertigo. It's interesting detection, I'll say that much. But on this part now, I generally prefer to use this right building for cover. The reason for that is because the balcony I'm looking at and the adjacent balcony to that are where the enemies are going to come from. And if you clear them both out and you get underneath the one on the right, you can kill the one on the left, and the one obviously that you're below won't have any chance of hurting you. And once you've destroyed all these areas and you've killed everything in front of you, a bunch of dudes are going to spawn where we just came from. So the hole that I was just stood in to my right now that you can see, if you go inside there you can use the windows to snipe out of, because this is a nice place for cover. And just keep clearing balconies, keep controlling your dinosaur, and just be careful where you click, because as you can see the dude's walked all the way back to me like I'm going to give him a fucking present or something when I've probably just misclicked. And there goes another gyrocopter, another 20 points. And the reason why I'm going back to that window right then is because I know the enemies are going to spawn behind me, so I'm trying to get the best advantage I can by seeing them first. So I spin around again. Any enemies? No. Couple more dudes on balconies to kill. And the trigger for this is, the thing I'd forgot is, you generally know when it's going to start spawning behind you, because I think these balconies collapse when you shoot them, and that signifies that this section is over. And there's a little sniper up there, so that one's just collapsed, and there we go. It tells us that they're spawning behind, so if you bomb all the way over here, you go into this piece of cover right now, and you can snipe from this window, and there's a window to my left. So just make sure you don't stay too long or you're gonna die, because it's just how these games work. And just keep shooting dudes. I mean, look at that, I am bang on that gyrocopter, I'm bashing the trigger, and my dinosaur's just, you know, having a cig, sat there chilling, telling me about his holidays. I don't know, something crazy. But after they're dead, a couple of dudes will queue up at that bottom bit. You see them running in from the spawn on the right. And once you've done that, it's time to spin back over here, because we've got another gyrocopter. So take it down, use cover, and then destroy the balconies. And unfortunately, once you've destroyed everything in this area, it's time to say goodbye to our friend. Because we use him to destroy a doorway, and then unfortunately he collapses and gets like electrocuted and dies. But we'll get to hear his name, so you can do a little memorial or a little shrine to the dude, because he was pretty badass for how long he lasted. And there he goes.
I don't like the sound of that. He served us well. I named him Waggleton P. Tallylicker.
Waggleton P. Tallylicker. That name is fucking genius. I love it. Anyway guys, we're coming to the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed that ridiculous section. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching. You take care now.
Here for us, Greg. They were guarding this hole. Could be they just really like it. Or maybe they really don't like what comes out of it. A lot of manpower. Must be some kind of crazy dangerous trouble within. So we're going down. Naturally.